Up until the 17th century, ideas like materialism, a view that says nothing exists except matter, atheism, which holds there is no God, and naturalism, which posits that nothing exists but nature, were considered unthinkable and would have been rejected out of hand. However, with the upheaval in the world of politics in post-Renaissance Europe, the world of philosophy underwent upheaval too. With the establishment of secular institutions like the Royal Society of Science in England, such ideas gained traction so that today many philosophers understand the world in these terms. Many of them argue that science should be the sole lens through which we understand reality. For them, science has an explanation for everything, and the supernatural has no place in explaining different phenomena. So what are the implications of such ideas, and do they really hold up? It is argued that naturalistic explanations of what happens in the world are the only reliable explanations we have. The world and all that is in it comes down to physical matter. Ultimately, everything is observable or measurable, and if it isn't today, it will be tomorrow, they tell us. In explaining the mind, proponents of such views believe that everything in the human mind is purely the result of brain processes, all of which can be measured. In the mid-20th century, an American philosopher, Willard Van Orman Quine, whose thought was based on such ideas, criticized philosophy's traditional understanding of how we attain knowledge, aka epistemology. One long-standing method of attaining knowledge for philosophers has been what is known as armchair philosophy, which is based on contemplation and discussion of ideas, regarded by thinkers like Socrates and Plato as a means for humans to reach truth. Quine rejected such traditional approaches, however, proposing instead that knowledge should be studied scientifically. With an approach like Quine's, analyzing concepts doesn't bring us any closer to the truth. Such an approach means epistemology must become a branch of psychology. Such naturalist philosophies are problematic for several reasons, however. Firstly, the basis and definition of such philosophies are vague. No philosophical sources describe naturalism exhaustively. At first glance, it would seem to be grounded in science, yet by claiming to be indistinguishable from science, it allows itself to jump over important questions. After all, no amount of experimentation can establish that a judgment is rational. The rejection of the supernatural outright by leading proponents of atheism, materialism, and naturalism could be said to be unscientific. Science doesn't oversimplify the world by rejecting entities, processes, and facts from the outset because they clash with some overarching theory. It is irrational to claim that anything which does not agree with a particular stance does not exist or is unscientific. In science, speculation, hypothesis, theory formation, wild guesses are the tools of the trade. Science means theorizing, presupposing, and even concerns things which may not have physical existence. Many discoveries came about this way by hypothesizing that there are objects responsible for some tangible outcomes. Gravity, genes, electrons, atoms, and innumerable other entities were discovered in this very way. It seems science itself is not as naturalistic as some would like. The approach to knowledge by thinkers like Quine presents a glaring dilemma. If we adopt naturalistic epistemology, how could assessment come from science, which is the thing being assessed? This is science evaluating itself, which makes little sense. Philosophy has long been studying the nature of rationality of science, ideas, and ideologies. If philosophy aligns itself with science, then the evaluation of science becomes circular and epistemology redundant. It seems that naturalism isn't an idea obtained from experience or rationality. The naturalist-materialist view is plagued by an unbridgeable gap with science. Without the foundation of pure science it claims to be based on, the all-encompassing verdict about all existence is left wanting. Such an approach to philosophy is in need of having observed and measured the whole world inside out.